Hey guys, it's your boy Deepo. Welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone's doing well. And today we'll be discussing what happens when actually a Warhammer fan makes a Warhammer game. So the first thing you'll notice here is the aesthetic. Just look at the immensity of it all and how absolutely stunning it looks. Now, given they had 4 or 5 decades of lore to work with, it doesn't always translate into a good product. I mean, have a look at all the crappy shows that we've been getting lately. These guys, however, have absolutely nailed it. Nailed it. So to have a look at this servitor here. So for those who are not aware, essentially servitors, most of them are criminals. They've been lobotomized and turned into these cybernetic slash cyborg beings that can only do 1 or 2 tasks at a time. Obviously, their brains are not there anymore. But you can still sort of see a residual value of their soul. Nonetheless, just have a look at that. Holy moly, it just looks so freaking stunning. If we look at the armor sets themselves as well, like the attention to detail, look how the vents, like the Prometheum, how the smoke's coming out, that is freaking insane. Like, it's just everything, all the heraldry, the bolters, the way the weapons look, the way the weapons feel. This game is truly one of a kind, and it is the best Warhammer game we've gotten to date. Rogue Trader was really good, but this compared like Rogue Trader to the budget of this, obviously, I think as far as AAA game goes, this is peak Warhammer 40k at the moment. Have a look at the Adeptus Mechanicus here, the Mechadendrites, the axes, the Mechanica axes, that should I say Mechanicus, sorry, correct myself there, axes. These guys are like freaking cult, man. The cult of the machine god. Holy moly, the attention to detail here, unreal, absolutely unreal. I believe these guys here are called they're called blood thralls for the blood angels. They're called chapter serfs, right? And essentially what they do, they are people that failed the Space Marine tests usually, but they're still called up to serve. So for those who are not aware, in order to become a Space Marine, you have to go through some trials. Each chapter has their own rituals. For example, if you take the Blood Angels, they have to go, in the world of Baal, a very cool world, they have to go through different trials, and essentially all the children are pitted against each other, and then the strongest are taken in, but not just the strongest physically. There's a lot of like mental fortitude tests they have to pass. So I would assume the Ultramarines will be similar in the selection process. And yeah, so these guys here are essentially the chapter serfs. So they're not servitors, they're still sentient, but they just failed Space Marines. So the process of creating a Space Marine essentially is they grab a host, in many cases a child that's pretty much susceptible to becoming a Space Marine after they pass all the trials, and then they implant the gene seed of the Primarch, among other things, so extra organs and whatnot, and then if they survive that, that's a risk in itself, and then they become a Space Marine. Anyways, let's have a chat with the Magos here and have a look of how in-depth we can. So in terms of weaponry here, they just have it all, from the bolt carbines all the way up to like sniper bolt rifles. You have the plasma incinerators, heavy bolt rifles. They really have it all, but heavy emphasis on the bolters because that is what the majority of the Space Marines run, and also because they're the most widely available weapons. Plasma weapons are obviously stronger, but they are a sort of technology that's very rare. Therefore, like most of them rely on heavy bolters. If you look at the pistols here, once again, you have the heavy bolt pistol, which obviously hits a lot heavier, but fires a lot slower. You have just a normal bolt pistol, and then you have the plasma pistol. Now, this is where it gets interesting, right? Same thing goes for the swords. So, combat knife, every Space Marine carries one. Chainsword, it's what the majority of them uses. However, this is the cream of the crop here, the power swords. And power weapons are extremely rare. They're relic weapons. They're from like the old Crusade when Imperium was at its finest. And Imperium was on top. They did this, but now they're increasingly more and more rare. And you only see like very specific Space Marines that use them, given the rarity run. But they are superior to chainsword weapons. Like chainsword can jam, chainsword can't really penetrate as much armor. Power swords, where it's at, and holy moly, do they nail the aesthetic of this. And then you have the Thunder Hammers, the preferred weapon of the Space Wolves. It's just absolute joy to watch this. Nonetheless, let's just quickly go into multiplayer so we can see all the different chapters they've done. Let's just quickly have a look through the armor selection here. This still gets really interesting. So they've based most of these on a single chapter. So if we look at what inspired this set of armor here, for example, what you'll find is this is obviously inspired on the Blood Angels, Inceptors, because they're the ones that usually use the jetpacks. I mean, Raven Guard does too, but if you look at this, like, that's clearly like Mephiston inspired. And each class will have different armor sets, and it looks absolutely stunning. If we look at Tactical, for example, you can tell that this was inspired by the Ultramarines, just looking at how the armor types, different armor types are. But my personal favorite here is the Bulwark, and these guys are based on the Dark Angels. Just look how freaking awesome that looks. The shield, just the jewelry, it looks freaking, the heraldry, it is insane. Like, this is for any Warhammer 40k fan, this is a dream come true. Honestly, this is freaking amazing how much they managed to capture the tone, the underline of Warhammer 40k. Absolutely mind-blowing stuff. And why? Because a lot of love went into this game. They just didn't do it as a cash grab, minus some marketing that I disagree with. But yeah, overall, absolutely amazing stuff. And it doesn't really end there. You also have the Trader Legions as well that you can check. So it pretty much shows you what their counterparts look like. My personal favorite one, once again, is the Death Guard. Have a look at this one. Have a look at that. Oh, that is freaking insane. Death Guard are my favorite when it comes to Chaos Space Marine, and this one looks amazing. My only pet peeve with this though is that you cannot customize it as much as you can with other ones. Whereas if you go to like the normal ones, so if you go to the loyalists, when you go to do the armor sets, they have way more, and you can make it much more customizable. And last but not least, we need to discuss the star of the show, and that is the Tyranid Swarm. So everything about this, from the way they move, the way they attack in unison, much to what the hive mind is. So for those who are not aware, essentially they have one consciousness, the Tyranids, and their attack is one. Pretty much is one mind guiding them, right? Well, it's not one creature that controls them. They are in unison, right? So it's a collective. Anyway, so the way they attack you, and then when you sort of kill like a warrior or a boss or something, it kind of like pretty much disrupts them for a second, because they are that neural link between the hive mind and the Gaunts. So it's good to see that they've added that. It's a nice little touch, and very true to the lore. And it just pretty much, it's a testament to how much research they did before they even gone on to make this game. And it's great to see. I hope we see more games like this where, you know, the directors, the producers, they don't put their own takes to it, but they rather stay true to the source material. And yeah, so as you can see here, executions are absolutely brutal. The weapons feel really good. When you fire the bolter, they feel heavy. You can feel the impacts. You can feel the crunch when you use a chainsaw. Is an absolute joy just to see things fall apart. Yeah, I mean, I have nothing but praise for this game. Hopefully, you know, they keep adding roadmaps and they keep showing us what they intend to do. But right now, in the state that it's launched, it's enough. It's got some awesome ideas, some awesome modes, but whether they're gonna hold for a very long time remains to be seen. Anyways, thank you for watching. I do appreciate your time. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I hope to catch you next video. Peace.